cage. We're ready for our second fight of the evening. Had a couple technical difficulties to get things started, but now we are moving on to our next matchup, which is
Jeff Nelson versus Adine Wilson.
Adine Wilson, and Jeff Nelson is your guy, Jamie Varner.
Yeah, he trains at Impact MMA. He's by way of the Marshall Islands. So he moved out here to Arizona to go to the Cordon Bleu and to become a chef. Pretty interesting story of this guy.
And became a fighter, of course, trains at your gym. You said Impact MMA.
Yeah, he had a little bit of boxing experience back in the Marshall Islands, did a little boxing there, but came over here and made the transition over to MMA. I mean, he's one of my prized students. I can't say enough good things about this guy. He's a hard worker. He actually came to our gym at 226 pounds, and he's fighting tonight at 175. I mean, this guy is a workhorse, and he's super motivated. I'm really looking forward to watching him put on a show tonight.
Me too, as you take a look at his opponent, Adine Zulu Wilson. He's 34. He's a boxer, 5'10" at 172.6 out of Trenton, New Jersey. Now fights out of the UFC gym in Glendale for Shannon Rich and Scott Lewis.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, he looks like he's just carved out of stone. I mean, this guy is a physical specimen. But sometimes looks don't really explain what the fighter is really capable of and what he has in his chest. But I know that Jeff Nelson's got a lot of heart. This is gonna be a good fight.
Let's go up to the cage to Rockin' Rick Reyes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the next bout on our fight card, these are the principals. First on my left, wearing white trunks, black trim, fighting out of the red corner. He is 5'6" tall, 175 pounds. His hometown is Maguro in the Marshall Islands, fighting out of Impact MMA. He's making his debut here. It is Jeff Nelson. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the blue corner, black trunks, white trim, comes to us from Trenton, New Jersey. He is 5'10" tall, 172.5 pounds. Fighting out of the UFC gym in Glendale, Team Cannon. Also making his debut here this evening, Adine Zulu Wilson. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled for three-minute rounds. Our third man in the cage is the lovely and talented Al Guiney.
Jeff Nelson and Adine Wilson. Jamie Varner, your guy. Jeff Nelson from Impact MMA is in the white trunks, Wilson in the black trunks. And they get it started with a little bit of a flurry, both men active early on in this fight.
We got Adine coming out in the southpaw stance. Jeff looking to throw that right hand to the body. This is a pretty tough matchup. I mean, I don't know. Jeff has a lot of southpaw sparring partners, and when you're fighting amateur, you really don't know what you're getting yourself into. There is no video on these guys, especially making a debut. So we just kind of got to prepare for everything and just see what happens. Oh, Jeff in with the double leg takedown, secured it. Looking to work his way up to the mount position. What Adine needs to do here, needs to try and get an underhook, get back to his feet. This is not the position he wants to be in. Jeff Nelson also another, that was a kind of a hokey pokey little crazy wrestling move right there. Nice knees thrown by Jeff. Got some body shots going on by Adine Wilson. Lots of wrestling going on here today. I thought this was going to be more of a stand-up battle as opposed to a wrestling match. But both guys throwing heavy leather, Jim. Holy cow.
Adine Wilson getting after it right now. Jeff Nelson. This is a catchweight 175-pound matchup. These two guys going at it from the beginning. Nelson covering up now. Barrage by Wilson up against the cage. And Nelson fighting back with everything he's got. Nice takedown by Nelson.
Side mount position. I don't know if that's necessarily a takedown as opposed to Adine trying to throw him and just landing flat on his back. That didn't work out too well for him. what Jeff needs to do, he needs to pass that half guard and get either to the mount or the side mount position. You got Adine looks like he's grabbing for look like a guillotine. But Jeff's got good position. He's got the underhook on the far side in that half mount position or half guard position. Drops some decent punches. It's crazy, these amateurs, man. Back in my day, you weren't allowed to throw closed fists to the face when you were an amateur. They can throw closed fists, they can do elbows. Oh, Adine giving up his back.
No elbows or knees to the head on the ground, and that's it.
Nope.
No foot stomp.
Nope. Oh, he's locking in the rear naked. Locking in the rear naked. Now, there's a couple ways he can do it. He can put that hand in the pit, in the crook of his elbow, or he can lock it up like he's doing with just two hands on one and just do a gable grip to finish this.
He's got just about 20 seconds to do it here in round number 1. Jeff Nelson turning the tide on Adine Wilson, who hit him with a bunch of strikes up against the cage before his slipping takedown.
He's underneath the chin. He's underneath the chin. I don't know. I think Jeff needs to start squeezing, start throwing punches. Yeah, that's what Jeff needed to do.
We're going to go to round number 2. Big right from Nelson, and then Wilson answers back. What a finish to round number 1 between Jeff Nelson and Adine Wilson. Jamie Varner, we have ourselves a fight here.
Well, first fight under new ownership, Rage of the Cage, going to the second round.
Let's take a look at the replay. You see Nelson coming at Wilson and two guys scrambling up against the cage, and a lot of energy from the beginning in this fight.
Yeah, Jeff isn't a wrestler by trade at all. I mean, this is crazy to see him ending up on top. Usually when I see him sparring or train at the gym, he's mostly a striker. He loves kickboxing, but he took the back, had the rear naked, had some great positions on the ground. There's something to be said about that Brasa BJJ being taught over there at Impact MMA.
How about the cardio for these guys, Jamie? That's always an issue for guys early on in their careers who haven't had a lot of fights. It's a lot different when you're actually in front of the crowd. You have the nerves, the adrenaline. All these things can drain you.
Oh, there's tons of anxiety going into some of these fights, and this will be a true test for both guys because both of them are making their debut.
Round 2 between Jeff Nelson and Adine Zulu Wilson, and Jamie Varner sweating a little bit as Nelson starts it off with a kick. Wilson right in on him, smothering him.
Oh, he switched. Oh, he went righty, back to southpaw. So we see Adine kind of switch up his stances. Lots of grappling still going on. Nice body lock.
Nelson.
Great takedown. Oh, he's got the back again.
Got that choke sunk in.
He needs to get the hooks in. He needs to put these hooks in. Oh, looks like he's got one in. This fight's about over.
Rear naked choke on the ground for Nelson.
Nelson needs it. He
Wilson
got a little high.
it.
He needs to get both those hooks in. Yeah, he needs to try and either bail out or abandon this position and try and get back to his feet.
Reversal by Wilson. Nelson
Nice.
trying to get back to his feet, and he does. Wilson with
Nice
a beautiful
knee
knee
by
up against the
Wilson.
cage.
Oh, geez. Body shots. Oh, these guys are just really throwing some leather. This could be fight of the night, and it's only the second fight.
Those chokes take a lot out of you, too, when you're the one applying the choke, and you put all that strength on it. You flex every muscle in your body as hard as you can. As Nelson again throws Wilson down, the two men hit the canvas simultaneously.
Yeah, that throw didn't quite work out as planned, I'm sure. But both guys look like they're starting to fade, get a little tired. There is a lot of anxiety. Both of them having a first fight. Looks like a single leg attempt by Jeff Nelson. Now working the body. I mean, Jeff needed to make this fight ugly. I mean, this guy, he's fighting a much bigger, stronger opponent. He needed to make this fight ugly, get on the inside.
It's the double leg.
Nice takedown by Jeff. Gonna work up the body. Now, if you notice, he's straddling both those legs. So if he can pull Adine away from the cage, he can transition right into a mount position, which we saw the very first fight of the night. Corey executed really well and was able to finish the fight. So mount is a very dominant position, and if Jeff can just pull him off that cage and work his way up to get that mount, he's going to be in good shape and probably be able to finish this fight.
Nelson and Wilson, both of them now having to dig down deep. The sweat's pouring. They're tired. Nelson landing shots on Wilson from behind.
Got
maintaining
both hooks
back
in now.
mount.
Got both the hooks in. See how he flattened him out. He's going to either look to get the choke in or just finish this fight via punches. But Adine's doing a good job controlling those wrists, covering up pretty well. Needs to get those hooks. Jeff's got to keep those hooks in.
Nelson's got that choke locked in again.
Yep, and he's got in the crook of his elbow. This this could be all she wrote.
30 seconds left in the round, as you see on your screen here at Rage in the Cage 174, our second amateur bout of the night.
Tapped.
And that's it.
He tapped. Good
Adine
job.
Wilson taps, and Jamie Varner's a proud coach right now as Jeff Nelson picks up the win.
I couldn't be happier with this guy. This guy is an absolute workhorse. Like I said, he weighed 226 pounds, fought here tonight at 175. I mean, this guy, all he does is work. He comes into the gym. He's the first one there and the last one to leave. And great striking over at Impact MMA with Nick Chastain, and obviously our jiu-jitsu program's not doing too bad under the tutelage of Brendan Barlow and Brasa BJJ.
Make sure Adine Wilson's okay, Jamie, as we take a look at the replay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the wrestling. I mean, a lot of those guys are throwing heavy leather, but the wrestling was much more dominant by Jeff Nelson. I mean, he controlled the fight the whole time, moving forward, kept executing, securing those takedowns, got the back twice, got the mount. I mean, he looked real good. Nick Chastain just came over here, gave me a little fist bump. I mean, like I said, this guy, Jeff, works really hard.
Tell everybody what's that like. You've been in big fights. You've been a champion. You're going to fight in your hometown here in Phoenix, the UFC on Fox on December 13th. But you get a real satisfaction when you coach these kids coming up. You can see it on your face while he's fighting. What's that like to see him succeed here tonight?
Well, I had a pit in my stomach when that fight first started, when they were walking out. But now I got a sense of relief. But for me, I love fighting, don't get me wrong, but coaching and teaching and passing on my knowledge is my passion.
Rick Reyes with the decision.
36 in the second round. Your winner by submission tap out due to rear naked choke. Fighting out of the